Hey, welcome to this video about sensuality and how to develop your attraction skills. This is a very important video for couples. Don't think that this is just to learn how to get the attention of people that you're trying to meet or trying to get to be in a relationship with. This is very important for couples that want to maintain their sexual relationship alive. Being able to be sensual and maintain that attraction between you two, it's actually one of the keys for a long-term relationship. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end. One of the biggest mistakes people do is that they think that sensuality is only for woman, and it's something about the woman, that's something the woman do. Totally wrong. Men, we can also be sensual. Actually, we must be sensual if we want to make attraction last. And I'm going to explain later what sensuality is, but it's very, very important. The thing is that cultivating your sensuality is going to attract your lover. It's going to make your lover be attracted to you. So that's why it's so important. And if you do it throughout the time, it's going to work. It's going to make it work throughout this time. It has a lot to do with your self-esteem, which is one of the basic human needs. Our self-esteem, if your self-esteem is low, it's very difficult to portray or to show sensuality, because you don't believe in yourself, because you don't think you're worthy of being sensual, of being attractive. And it's a way of loving yourself as well. Being sensual is like saying, hey, look at me. I am sensual. I can act sensual. I can demonstrate that I have these sensual skills, these sensual features in my body, in my personality, in all the ways that you can show sensuality. So what is sensuality? Sensuality is the physical expression of your sexual desire and enjoyment. That is what sensuality is. Sensuality is the act and the attitude to please and seduce your lover sexually. Sensuality is having a great erotic energy. Sensuality is having a high sense of erotism. And sensuality is not limited to some people who you might think. We always think that sensuality is for the good-looking people, for the famous people, for the actors, for the actresses, the models, and so on. And that's totally wrong. Each of us have the capability and have that instinct inside of us that we can express our own sensuality in our own way. The thing is that many people have repressed it throughout their life. Many people throughout their experiences, throughout their little traumas and so on, or big traumas sometimes, they have repressed that instinct, repressed that expression because they may have had a bad experience. So they have created this limiting belief inside their brain that they are not sensual, they're not worthy of being sensual and expressing their sensuality. And the fact is that sensuality is an attitude. It's something that when people are sensual, they're sensual all the time. Not only with a lover, they're sensual all the time. They show up sensually. And that doesn't mean they're provoking people. You might have seen women who I'm talking about women because I'm a man, okay? So I see it more in women. And sometimes you see women who you look at them and they express sensuality in the way they look, the way they act, the way they walk, the way they look at you, the way they speak. And they show it to everybody, not only to their lover, but they are just like that all the time because they feel good with themselves. They feel good with their sexuality and their sensuality and about expressing it. It's nothing wrong with that. It's a great attitude to have all the time. You should feel no guilt or shame for expressing sensuality, because sensuality is very much attached with your sexuality. So normally people who are very sensual have a very liberated sexual life, and they feel free sexually, and they don't have any problem expressing sensuality and sexuality at the same time. Now, how do you express sensuality? How do you do it? First of all, and I said it before, self-esteem. You must have a very high sense of self-esteem of yourself. You must love yourself. Really, you must have already accepted your body the way it is. The way it is. You don't have to change anything because you can't. It's the way it is. Once you accept your body, you can do the best that you can with what you have. So what you're going to do in your own way, you're going to express that sensual part of you, which is very attached to that sexual part of you. It's a way of saying, hey, this is what I am, and this is how I seduce other people. And seducing people, it's not always have to be in a sexual context. It does not have to be. Seducing people can be in the way you, as I said before, your attitude, the way you present yourself. And being sensual, it's a very, very good way of expressing yourself. Sensuality is equal to confidence. Basically, it's having the confidence in yourself of knowing that you are perfect the way you are, and you will show that confidence. When you're sensual, you're confident. You look confident. You express confidence. Now, if you have repressed your sensuality for many years, like if you're one of those people that they're not comfortable with showing or being sensual, and I want to make a point here, okay? Because maybe you're getting the idea that sensuality means that you're like a sex idol. Not even close. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about showing off your tits like for a woman, no? Or the man like going there showing their muscles. That's not sensuality. No, that's not sensuality. Sensuality has to do with your attitude. It has to do with the way you show to the world. And it has to do with your confidence. It has to do with the way you see yourself. So not everybody has to show sensuality the same way. There's many ways to show sensuality. Some people do it more with the way they look, with the way they speak, with the way maybe they touch, if they're going to touch someone. Some other people do it with their body, the way they show themselves with the body, the way they dress. It's very important the way you dress for sensuality, for showing sensuality. So there's many different ways to do it. The way you smile, that's a great sensual attribute. Smiling can be very, very sensual. The way you do your haircut, the way you, if you makeup, if you do some makeup, woman, the way they make up, guys, the way you maybe shave, or maybe the way you smell. Sensuality can also be expressed through our perfumes. There's so many ways to express sensuality. The fact is that each of us have our own personality, and we have to show it. We just have to take it out. Say, hey, this is the way I'm going to express my sensuality. The way I'm gonna show that part of me that which I use to seduce the other person. Confidence has a lot to do with seducing other people. And again, we are talking about sex in general. Yes, I know, but it doesn't have to be only sexual. Okay, sensuality can also be. You can show that sensuality, and you're not trying to seduce sexually someone. You're trying to seduce the other person just to be closer to you. That's the only thing. So I'm going to talk now about sensuality in terms of only sex. But what I want you to get out of this video is that your sensuality has to do with the way you show up to the world. The way do you seduce people towards you. Of course, being fit, having a nice body, as good as you can be, it's a great way to be sensual, of course, because the eyes, when we see someone that's well kept and in good shape, we like to see it, of course. That's another way of being sensual. For men, for example, the voice, and for women as well, the voice can be very sensual. If you have a nice voice, a beautiful voice, a sensual voice, use it. Use it for that. So make look inside and see what are my best attributes in terms of sensuality, the ones that I can exploit better, the ones that I can express better, and that can actually go with my personality. You don't have to be someone you are not. This is something that's so important. You have to be your own. You have to be who you are. And with your personality, express the sensuality the way you understand it. I've put you already some examples here of what sensuality is and how you can express it, okay? So take a look at that and look inside and say, hey, how am I going to do this? How am I going to express that? And now you don't have to be trying to be sensual all the time, okay? There's times for being more sensual and times for not really having to express sensuality. Sometimes when you're doing whatever you're doing at home, where you're cooking, maybe you don't have to be trying to be sensual, or you don't have to, not trying to, but take that out, okay? There's times for sensuality and not, but the most important thing is to understand which features you have inside of you, what are the traits of your personality that that can be expressed sensually. Again, this is an attitude thing. It's something that has to do with your attitude towards life, towards people, towards how you express yourself. Now, let me talk about couples, okay? Because this is all about couples and how to express it within couples, and because it's a big danger to forget about your sensuality when you are in a long-term relationship. It's one of the keys why many couples, many marriages divorce. Honestly, guys, and I'm not gonna say it's the only reason, but it's one of the reasons that detonates things. What do I mean by that? And this is why I make this video about sensuality. If you forget about yourself, when you get married, this is what happens. You get married or you get started in a relationship now, after 3, 4, 5 years, you start to forget. You take things for granted. You think that this is going to last forever. And you forget about how it all started. Because when you started, you were always thinking, well, what can I dress to be nice? What can I do to attract him or her? Well, you were thinking about things that you could do or you can express from your own personality to attract the other person. Now, those things which is sensuality, which is the attitude of seducing, if you stop doing it in your marriage is going to go down. Your sex life is going to really go down. If you start only wearing pajamas at home, if you start wearing the pajamas at home all the time, if you start wearing these not sexy dresses or not sexy clothes anytime, not even now when you go out. I mean, now you stop wearing anything that's sexy or sensual. You stop making up, you stop taking care of yourself, you stop trying to actually seduce your partner, you stop trying to be looking good for your partner, because it's very important to maintain that spark. Maintaining the sensuality, the spark of attraction is so important. So you must keep that up, and you must find ways, again, the way you are, get them out, use them all the time, and never forget about them. Use them throughout your whole life. So be very careful of how you do things at home every day. This is a daily thing. Make sure you feel nice, you dress nicely, you feel sexy, you feel sensual, you feel attractive, you love yourself. This is the key for lasting long in a relationship. If you start taking things for granted, if you think that this is going to last forever, now I'm married and we have kids, so this is going to be like this, you will have problems. Believe me. I've seen this so many times in relationships. Really, my friends, I've seen it so many times. It's happened to me myself. I know this. I've been through two relationships that broke up, and one of them was not because of that, but the first one was because of that. We forgot. We became friends, and we forgot about trying to seduce the other one. We forgot about trying to make that happen. So you forget about everything. You get fat, you start wearing ugly clothes. And I'm not saying you cannot wear your pajamas every now and then and have that cozy thing at home, but make sure you do the other thing as well, okay? There's times for everything, and there's times for wearing the pajamas. What I mean by pajamas, I mean these non-sexy, ugly pajamas that don't make any good for anybody. They're comfortable, yes, very comfy. Okay, that's good to do every now and then, but it's also important to do the other. That's what balance again. Balance. Balance is the key of life. Make sure you do both. Make sure you keep it up. This is it for this video. I hope it makes sense to you, all of what I just said, and I will see you in the next one.